Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to discuss about visual aids for navigation. So for those of you who don't know, I'm making a series of videos on air regulation, so you can go and check it out in my channel. So let's get started. In this chapter, we will be discussing about different type of indicators, signals, lights and markers, etc., which are very crucial for the proper regulation of traffic as well as for the safety of the aircraft and all the other components of the aerodrome as well. So we'll be seeing it one by one. The first one is wind direction indicator. So at least one wind direction indicator should be installed in the aerodrome, which provides you the wind direction obviously, and it should be properly visible at the night also. So one such wind direction indicator should also be installed. Okay, next is land direction indicator. It has a T shape, okay, that provides you the indication about the landing. And signaling lamp. So signaling lamp is provided at all the controlled aerodromes at aerodrome control tower, and then they produce the red, green and white signals. Fine. The signal panels and signal area. So the signal panel and signal area is where the different kind of signals is provided to the aircraft. So these should be placed in such a manner that it is properly visible to the aircraft, and also its dimension should be large enough so that the pilot can properly see and he can make out that what is written in that signal. So keeping that thing in mind, at least 10 degree above the horizon, the signal panel should be there, at least 10 degree from the height of 300 meter, and the area should be at least 9 meters square, right? At least. Fine. So this was about it. We'll be going on to markings now. Interruption of runway markings. Okay, so if there are two runways and they both are coinciding at some point, then one the runway which is less important will be interrupted, and same with the case of taxiway also. If a taxiway and a runway is intercepting, in that case taxiway will be interrupted. Okay, in this case, how do we find out that which runway is of more importance? So first is the one which is having precision approach, second one non-precision approach runway, and third is non-instrument runway. This is the priority order of the runways. And they say that the markings of the more important runway, except for the runway side strip marking, shall be displayed, and the markings on the other runway shall be interrupted. Similarly, it's the case for the taxiway also. Okay, now color and conspicuity. So the runway marking should be white in color. Taxiway, runway, turn pad, aircraft stand marking, they should be yellow in color, and apron safety line should be red in color. Let's come to the runway designation marking. So what are the runway designation markings? So these are the numbers that denote which runway are we talking about. It identifies the runway. Okay, if they say runway 27, runway 09, then according to that, with the help of this designator markings, you can find out which runway they are talking about. So these are at the threshold of a paved runway. The thresholds are, you can say, the end, both the ends of the runway are the thresholds, and on both the ends of the runway, different runway designations are written. Okay, what are these? They are the 2-digit number, which is the 1/10 of the magnetic north. So if the magnetic heading is indicating 270 degree, in that case 1/10 is 27, so 27 will be the runway designation marking. And in case if it is 90 degree, then 1/10 is 9. In that case, what will be the runway marking? It will be 09. Okay, so in this case, if you see, this is a runway. So let's say if it is 28 is written here, that means coming from this direction you say that this is 280 degree on this side, and what is the opposite? 100 degree, and 100 degree you will be seeing on this side. So where will be the north? North will be in this direction somewhere downwards. Okay, similarly 27 also you can make out what will be the opposite, 09. Okay. And next, coming to the parallel runways. So parallel runways are numbered supplemented by a letter. Okay, I'll tell you an example, and they're also numbered consecutively, like I have numbered it here. So if you see in the Delhi airport, in that also they're having 3 runways, so they are numbered in such a manner, 27, 28, like that. If there are more number of runways, in that case the left one is called the L, right one is called the right, and if there is a center runway also, then C is written. So 28L, 28R, 28C, this denotes left, right and center respectively. Here you can see if there are 2 parallel runways, then L and R. 3 will be LCR, 4 runways, then LR, LR, 5 will be LCR, LR or LR, LCR, and 6 parallel runways will be LCR and LCR. Okay, very much easy. Coming on to the next point, which is the runway centerline marking. So it passes through the center of the runway, as the name suggests. So dimensions are like the length of the stripe and the gap should be from 50 meter to 75 meter in length only, and also the length of the stripe should be either equal to the length of the gap, or it should be at least 30 meter. Whichever is greater, it will be the length of the stripe. So talking about the width. So in case of width, if 0.90 meter 0.90 meter will be the width on the precision approach category 2 and 3 runway, 0.045 on non-precision approach code number 3 or 4 and precision approach category 1, and 0.3 meters on non-precision approach runway where the code is 1 or 2, and on the non-instrument runway. So if there is a non-instrument runway, means no instrument is required, normal visual landing is done, in that case there will be the center line will be the thinnest, and the runway in which ILS category 2, 3 landing is done, in that case strong thick lines should be there to properly show the center line of the runway. So that will be 0.9 meter thick, and the intermediate one will be 0.45. Threshold markings, as I told you, will be the markings at both the ends of the runway. So at the threshold of the paved instrument runway or non-instrument runway as well, code 3 and 4. And also in case of non-precision runway, it should be 45 meter. Okay, shall commence 6 meter from the threshold. Okay, so if there is a runway, one second, if you say that this is a runway, okay, so from the threshold here, 6 meter from here, 6 meter, this will be the runway marking. Okay, this will be the runway marking, and this 6 meter will be left in this end also, as well as in this end also. 6 meter distance will be left, and then the threshold marking will start. Here is a table which shows you that according to the runway width, how many number of stripes will be there. So in case of 18 meter, this is important guys, so you have to remember it. 18 meter is the width, it's a thin runway. In that case only 4 stripes will be there. 23 meter will be 6, 30 meter width 8, 45 meter 12, and 60 meter width of the runway, in that case 16 stripes will be there on both the ends. Okay, now what is a transverse stripe? So when the threshold is displaced and from the extremity, and the extremity of the runway is not square, in that case a transverse stripe is required. I will attach a photo, you can see it. This is the transverse stripe. Transverse stripe shall not be less than 1.8 meter wide. Coming on to arrows. So the arrows are in case if there is permanently displacement of runway threshold. In that case, arrows are required. Again, there's a picture of this. So this can be how the arrows are helpful for the aircraft to tell you the position of landing as well as the end of the runway. Aiming point is provided at each approach end of a paved instrument runway where the code number is 2, 3 or 4. And also in case of code 1 also somewhere, if it is desirable, then the aiming points are available. So actually an aiming point consists of two conspicuous stripes that actually tells the aircraft where you have to aim while you are landing the aircraft. As you can see in the table, distance from the threshold to the beginning of the marking will be 150 meter in case the distance available to land is less than 800 meters. And in case 800 to 1200 meter distance is available to land, then 250 meter will be the distance from the threshold to the starting of the aiming point, and 300 for this, 400 for greater than 2400 meter length of the runway available. And length of stripes is this, 30 to 45 meter for less distance available, and 45 to 60 for more distance available. And width will be 4, 6, 6, 10, 6 to 10. And then lateral spacing between the inner side of the stripes, 6 meter, 9 meter, 18, 22.5, 18. Again, I'll give a picture. You can see it, and it is very much clear now that what is the aiming point. Touchdown zone markings will be provided in the touchdown zone, as the name suggests, where the runway code, precision approach runway code is 2, 3 or 4. So in this table it tells you the landing distance again that is available. If the landing distance is less than 900 meter, then only one pair of markings will be there. For 900 to 1200, 2 pair of markings, 1200 to 1500 meter, 3 pair of markings, 1500 to 2400 meter, 4 pair of markings, and greater than 2400 meter it is 6 pair of markings. So all these tables which I am telling guys, this is very much important, and you have to mug up all these tables because they ask directly from the table that if this much distance is available, how many pair of markings will be there. You have to tell it, okay? MCQ. You'll get confused otherwise. Just remember it properly. Then there are other markings like runway side strip markings. So these will be provided between the threshold of a paved runway where there is a lack of contrast between the runway edges and the shoulders of the surrounding terrain. Okay, and these markings will be provided on a precision approach runway irrespective of the contrast between the runway edges and the shoulders of the surrounding terrain. Okay, and this also consists of 2 stripes, which one placed along each edge of the runway, with outer edge of each stripe approximately on the edge of the runway. And except that the runway is greater than 60 meter in width, in that case the stripe should be located 30 meter from the runway center line. Okay. Then we have the taxiway center line marking. As the name suggests, it runs through the center of the taxiway. Isolated aircraft parking position. So these are specially isolated for some special conditions. In this case, what happens is that it should be located in the maximum distance practicable, and in any case, nevertheless, 100 meter from the normal parking positions or buildings or the public area. Okay. So the runway holding position marking is between the intersection of the taxiway and the non-instrument or non-precision approach or the takeoff runway. And Next comes the intermediate holding position markings. In this case, well, the intermediate position holding position marking should be displayed along the intermediate holding position only, and also they should be displayed at the exit boundary of the remote de-icing or anti-icing facility adjoining the taxiway. Okay. Next part is VOR aerodrome checkpoint marking. So these marking consists of a circle which is 6 meter in diameter and 15 centimeter is the thickness, also to tell you the direction of the align the aircraft in a specific direction. This arrow is also sometimes there. So from the perimeter, 6 meter will be the length of the arrow. Next is the aircraft stand marking. These are provided at the apron, the stands, and also on the de-icing, anti-icing facility also. Okay, and lead in, turning and lead out lines should normally be continuous in length and have a width of not less than 15 centimeters. So these three are there in this aircraft stand marking, which is the lead in, which leads you in, turning, and the lead out. Okay, they will be continuous lines. Fine. Then we come to the apron safety lines. So in case of the apron safety lines, they will be provided a wingtip clearance also by the wingtip clearance line, and the service road boundary lines are also required for the parking configuration and the ground facilities. They also have certain dimensions which are not of much importance. Then we have road holding position marking also. That is also, well, the road holding position marking shall be provided at all the road entrances to the runway. So that's again pretty not a less important one. Then we will be moving on to the mandatory instruction marking. So these are done on the red background and inscription should be on the white. So these are provided mandatorily over the surface of the pavement, and especially it is recommended that it should be on the taxiway which is exceeding 60 meter in width, and the mandatory instruction sign should also be supplemented with the markings. So it should be located at the left hand side of the taxiway center line and taxiway center line marking, and on the holding side of the runway holding position marking. Okay, so I will also attach a picture of it. It also includes it consists of inscriptions in white, as I already told, except for no entry. No entry does not come into it. Okay, we'll be discussing where does the no entry is included. This was about this mandatory instruction marking. We'll be coming to the information marking now. So information marking will basically be providing you the location sign, location, where the location is, which location you are in, direction and destination, and the location will be given you in the yellow inscription, and black inscription is for direction and destination. So this was the information marking. Talking about the different kinds of lights which are available, so this is very important for the safety of the aircraft. So the laser which is used, it is most of the times very much dangerous for the aircraft. So based on that, there are different zones which are categorized. So laser beam free flight zone is one, laser beam critical flight zone, and laser beam sensitive flight zone. These are the three different types of zones. Fine. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about it. So some lights can endanger the safety of the aircraft. These are the non-aeronautical ground lights, so they have to be extinguished so that our aircraft is properly, safely able to move around here. Okay, and the lights which may also cause confusion, that can be some highway lights also nearby area having the same configuration of the color and all those things, intensity and all. So these can be very confusing for the aircraft landing and maneuvers, so that is why they have to be avoided, all those things. So moving on to the emergency lights now. So at the aerodrome, provided with the runway lighting and without the secondary power supply, sufficient emergency lights should be available on at least a primary runway in the event of failure of the normal lighting system. So they are also useful to mark the obstacles and delineate the taxiway and the apron areas. This was the emergency light. Coming to the aeronautical beacon. So the aeronautical beacon shall be provided at the aerodrome intended for use at night if one or more of the following conditions are existing. So the aircraft navigates predominantly by a visual means. Reduced visibilities are frequent, and it is difficult to locate the aerodrome from the air due to surrounding lights and terrain. In that case, a beacon is required, and it should be adjacent to the aerodrome, and the location of the beacon should be such that the beacon is not shielded by an object in a significant direction and does not dazzle the pilot approaching to the land. It has some characteristics that it can flash alternating colored lights with white, as well as only white flashes also, and the total flashes shall be 20 to 30 per minute. Colored flashes emitted by the beacon at the land aerodrome will be green colored, and the beacons at the water aerodrome will be yellow colored. Okay, then we have the identification of beacon. So the identification, again, it can be done with the help of the green and the yellow light, as in if it is in land it will be flashing the green lights, and in water the yellow ones. And also their identification characters can be transmitted with the help of a Morse code. Approach lighting system. So there is simple approach, precision approach category 1, precision approach category 2 and 3. Let me show you the diagram and explain you. This is a simple approach lighting system, guys, which we were talking about. So just bear with my drawings if they are not very up to the mark, but I have tried my level best to make you understand in this. So assume that this is a runway and you're seeing it from one direction. You are seeing the half part of the runway. Okay, so these are the white lines, so white lights. So the one which I have made with the pencil and no color is there, this is the white light, and these are the runway edge lights. We call it the runway edge lights. The distance between them is 60 meters. So you have to remember all these things because this is asked in the question paper. So just remember this, that these are the runway edge lights. At the edge of the runway they are called the runway edge lights. These green ones are known as the threshold lights. These are 6 in number. Either they can be equidistant to each other, or either they can be placed and on one end, this side 3 and this side 3. That can also be there. And also, if we'll be seeing in the other diagrams that they can be more than 6 also, but in this case, simple approach, they are 6 in number. Okay, then this that you see, this one, this is an actually extension of the one where the center line is coming from. These lights are actually extending up to 420 meters from the end, if you could see just a second. So from the end of the runway to 420 meters it is extended, and the distance between them is actually 60 meters. Okay, and also within 300 meter of this distance there is again a series of lights, white lights only, which is known as a crossbar. Also it is called the decision bar. So these are actually for providing the aircraft a proper direction, as in where to land your aircraft in. Fine, it provides a proper direction to the aircraft for landing. As you can see here, I have made two runways to properly tell you the difference between the one where the berets are used and the one where the normal lights are used. Okay, so actually the difference between the precision approach category 1 and category 2 and 3 is the decision height as well as the RVR, which is the runway visual range. So in category 1, it's written here, in category 1 the decision height should be 60 meter, and if it is less than that, if it is 30 meter, you come into category 2. And in RVR in category 1 it should be 800 meter and 400 meter will be category 2. So we will be seeing about the precision approach in category number 1 first. So let's see this diagram in which this is a runway. These are again the runway edge lights. This is threshold. These are the threshold end lights, you can say. And these are the berets. So 3 or more closely spaced lights are called the berets. And these are again of the length of 900 meter from the threshold. So from the end of the runway, this is 900 meter, in this case also 900 meter in length. And from 300 meter from here, there will be a crossbar which will be denoting the pilot, indicates the pilot the distance from the runway. So if the pilot is coming from this direction, he will be knowing while reaching the crossbar that what distance he has reached. If he has reached the crossbar, he'll be knowing that now only 300 meters are left and he'll be over the runway. In similar manner, if you talk about this one, in this up to 300 meter a single line of white light is there. For the next 300 meter, two lines of white lights are there, and in the last 300 there will be 3 lines of white light. So these are again to denote you the distance which is available, and again as calculated from here to here, the distance will be 900 meters as written here. And the crossbars are also available here, but here the number of crossbars are more as compared to this one. So in this case, it is in the interval of 150 meters. So in 150 meter, one crossbar, 300 meter, another 450, then 600, then 750. So these are the crossbars which indicate the distance available. The distance left to reach the runway, right? Okay, something is written 3 meter interval. Okay, yeah. So the distance between the two lights, the green lights, these are the threshold end lights, you can say this should be 3 meter at least. Okay, again in this case, although I have drawn only 6 lights, but more than that can be there in this also, in this also. So more than 6 lights are allowed in this category 1 precision approach. Category 2 precision approach. Well, one thing that may be the colors from the back side, you can see, just ignore the light ones because it has imprinted. I had no idea that it will be visible on the back side also, but just ignore the light ones. We'll be talking about the ones here. So it is almost the same as the category 1, the same thing, but again there are few lights which are added here. So the runway edge lights are same, the threshold lights are the same. Here in this case also berets are there, and the length is again 900 meter from the end of the runway till here. And also crossbars are also available, but here only 2 crossbars are there at 150 meter. 150 meter from here and 300 meter from here. So 2 crossbars are available. Also, to enhance this area, red threshold lights are also there. We also call it a threshold lights only. So the berets, again, red berets are there in this area and this area as well. So that makes it much more prominent, and you can distinguish this runway from any other lights from the top, the highways, etc. You can distinguish it easily from the pattern. So apart from these lights, there are again the runway touchdown zone lights. So these are known as the berets, which runs from the threshold up to 900 meter from the threshold. These are known as the runway touchdown zone lights. So these are named such because they are in the touchdown area. Fine. And also don't forget the runway center lines. So 3 types of lights have come in this category: the touchdown zone lights, the center lights, and the red berets from the threshold area. Okay, so the runway center light are having the gap of either 7.5 meter or 15 meter or 30 meter. Also, the distance between the 2 berets are either 30 or 60 meter. Okay. So the PAPI lights are the ones which tell you at what angle are you coming. So the normal angle for the approach is 3 degrees. If you are coming at 3 degrees, you will be shown 2 white lights and 2 red lights. And if you are coming too low, all will be red in color, and if you're coming too high, all will be white in color. Also, if you are shown 3 red and 1 white, that also means that you are a little low. And if you are seeing 3 white and 1 red, then also it means that you are too high. In that case, you have to accordingly correct your angle. Also, there is something called APAPI. In that, you will be having just 2 lights, 1 white light and 1 red light. Unlike this, they are having 4. So if you are having 1 white and 1 red, that means your angle is correct. If you are having 2 whites, then it means that you are too high. And if you are having 2 reds, that means you are too low. So next is the runway light. Again, I will be explaining you with the help of a diagram. We have talked about the runway edge lights. So these are the runway edge lights. The distance of this with the runway edge is 3 meter. Okay, and also the yellow color, if you see, these are the ones in which the instrument landing system is supported. So if a runway supports an instrument landing system, in that case, for the first 2000 meter, just a second, from the end of the runway to 2000 meter, the amber color runway edge lights are there, and then white color edge lights are there. And in the normal runway, white color edge lights are there. Again, that in this also 3 meter is this distance, and right, and this distance will be 60 meter for the instrument runway, and for the normal non-instrument runway, this distance will be 100 meter. Okay, then coming to the next lighting, which is the center line. So the center line are the white colored lines, so these lines are actually either on the center, or either they can be shifted to any one of the side, either this side or that side, only by 60 centimeter if required. Otherwise, it should run from the center only. Also it is written that when RVR is less than 400 meter, these are switched on and installed when the runway width is greater than 50 meter. And obviously most of the cases it is greater than 50 meter. Width is 50 meter. Okay. Fine. So what are these lights? The runway threshold lights that we talked about. These are actually having red color this side and green color this side. Similarly, on the opposite side, there will be green color on the outside and red color on the inside. So you can make out that if the aircraft is coming from this direction, so if it is going from here to it is coming from here to here, it will be seeing green light. Green light means you are coming in the right direction, so you will be landing from here. Okay, and if it reaches here, this side, he will be seeing a red color light, which will be denoting that you have come to the end of the runway and now you have to stop. This is what is the meaning of the green and the red lights. So this was the one. Next is center line only. I'm sorry, I forgot that. In case of center line, the first 300 meter from this side and that side as well, first 300 meters should be all red in color, and from 900 to 300 meter to 900 meter, it can extend up to this much length, and it should be white and red alternate, and then afterwards it should be all white in color, right? So this was about the center line. Next, coming on to these lines, which are the touchdown zone lights, which are the same 900 meter it will be extending up to, and these are white in color, berets. Okay, fine. So moving on to next part, that this center approach lighting system, which is the white light, we have already talked about it in the previous diagrams, and the crossbar or the decision bars are also there, mostly 300 meter in distance from the end of the runway. Also, what are these? So these are not the light in this yellow which I've drawn here. These are actually drawn on the surface of the runway. So they are called, this area is called the displaced threshold. We have talked about it. So displaced threshold lightings are also there, which are red in color, which we have seen in category 2, precision approach. Okay. After this, there is another light, this one. So this one I have made it in such a manner because they will be flashing the white light. So these are also 3 meter from the runway end, and they are called the runway end identifier lights, short form REIL. REIL. Okay. At least half of the gap between the runway edge lights. Okay, one more thing, that the distance between this should be at least half of the gap between this. This is what is written here. At least half of the gap between the runway edge lights. Half of the gap of this. So, iska jitna bhi distance hai. Like if it is 60 meter, then half of this is 30 meter. So, at least 30 meters distance should be there between they both. Now only taxiway is left. Here comes the taxiway also. So, this is the runway and this is a taxiway. Taxiway lead on and lead off lights are yellow and green colors alternatively. Also, one is the retils. I'll write it here. RETILS. Retils. So these are the rapid exit taxiway indicator lights. So what are these? They will be guiding on the distance to go to the nearest rapid taxiway. Okay. So the number of retils which are there will be telling you the distance between the taxiway. So if supposedly you are coming from this direction, supposedly. I don't know what's happening to my English sometimes, but okay, bear with me, I'm sorry guys. Fine, so this is the direction from which you're coming, and this is a rapid taxiway. Just assume that it is coming in like in this such a manner. So for example, let's divide this into 300 meters or 100 meters. So from here to here it is 100 meter, here to here it's 100, and here to here it's another 100. So here you will be having 3 rentals, denoting you that 300 meters are there left. Here you will be finding 2 rentals, denoting that only 200 meters are left to the rapid taxiway, and 1 will be showing that 100 meter is left. Okay, like this. And till you approach here, you have to take a turn in this direction. These rattles are also yellow colored lights. Okay, next is runway turn pad lights, which will be guiding you the runway turn pad to complete a 180-degree turn and align with the runway center line. Okay, and there is again something which is known as autonomous runway incursion system, ARIWS, which provide the autonomous direction of a potential incursion or of the occupancy of the active runway, and the direct warning to a flight crew or vehicle is given. Fine. So when an aircraft is departing on the runway or arriving at a runway, then a red warning light at the entrance will be illuminated, indicating that it is unsafe to enter the runway or either cross the runway. Okay, so that is known as ARIWS. Sorry about the handwriting, but this is important all again. Fine, so this was it. RWSL is a type of autonomous runway warning system. Fine. RWLS, runway status light. RWLS, the runway status light. This is again a type of this autonomous runway warning system, which warns the aircraft of the occupancy of the runway, that the runway is occupied and you cannot enter it or cross it. And the runway guard light. So runway guard light warns the pilot and drivers of the vehicles when when they are operating on the taxiway. So runway guard lights are also something, but they will telling you about the taxiway. What are they called? They are known as runway guard lights. Runway guard lights. So if the taxiway is occupied by the aircraft, then they will be warning the aircraft as well as the other vehicle drivers also that this is occupied. Mandatory instruction signs. Vehicles or aircrafts taxiing shall not proceed unless authorized by the aerodrome control tower beyond the mandatory instruction signs. So these are mostly red colored and white color inscriptions are there in that. Background is red and very prominently visible. It includes the runway designation sign, category 1, 2, 3 holding position signs and runway holding position signs, and also no entry. These are the mandatory instruction signs. Okay. Next, moving on to information signs. Information signs are actually the direction signs, location, destination, runway exit signs, runway vacated signs, and intersection takeoff signs. So these all are included in information signs. So these are mostly yellow colored background is there and black color inscription is there. So let's move on to the visual aids for denoting obstacles. So a fixed obstacle that extends above a takeoff climb surface within 3000 meters of the inner edge of the takeoff climb surface, that shall be marked, and Also, in case it is during the night, then it should be lightened up. So it should be marked with the help of colors which are very much prominent, and if the colors should be used in such a manner that it does not mix up with the background. So you can use red and white in combination, or else orange and white are also used, and if not, then checkered pattern, red, white, these can also be used to indicate the obstacles nearby. And also that should be within 3000 meters of the inner edge of the takeoff climb, as I told you, right? And also the emergency vehicles are colored in red and service vehicles are colored in yellow. Now, lighting of objects. So the edges and the shape of of any object, these are denoted by some obstacle lights. So they are of different intensity: low, high, medium intensity lights. So the low intensity lights will not be exceeding more than 45 meters. These are associated with emergency or security. Then they will be blue in color, flashing blue, and others are yellow in color. Follow me vehicle will be yellow in color. Medium intensity, greater which will not be whose intensity won't go beyond 900 meter. In that case, type A will be white flashlights, red for the category B, and C will be red fixed. So B is for the red flashes. Okay, then finally high intensity will be white flashes, that will be going beyond 900 meter. Next, coming to the closed runway and the taxiway. In that case, closed marking will be denoted. So that means that it is temporarily closed, either runway or taxi, and you are not allowed to go beyond that point. So that will be telling you that that will be told you or indicated you with the help of a closed marking. Pre-threshold area. So pre-threshold area is denoted with the help of a chevron marking. I will attach a picture. This is a chevron marking, and this denotes you that this is a pre-threshold area. So this area of runway is fit for the use as a stopway by the aircraft landing in the opposite direction, but not fit for normal movement of the aircraft. This should be noted. Then the unserviceable area. These are denoted by the flags, cones, and marker boards. Okay. The characteristics are: an unserviceability light shall consist of a red fixed light. So the light shall have an intensity sufficient to ensure the conspicuity, considering the intensity of the adjacent light and the general level of illumination against which it will normally be visible. And in general, if you talk about the rescue and the fire fighting services, in these vehicles and services will also be properly lightened up and colored so that they are very much prominent. Emergency and other services include the rescue and the firefighting. So the kind of services provided by the rescue and the firefighting, they are equal to the aerodrome category, which we'll be seeing in a table right now. Okay, so they will be using the extinguishing agents such as the dry chemical powder suitable for extinguishing hydrocarbon fires. Okay, then something known as response time. So response time should not be exceeding 3 minutes. This shall be maintained by the rescue and the firefighting services for any point of each operational runway. Within 3 minutes they should be available, and an operational objective of the rescue and firefighting services shall be to achieve a response time not exceeding 2 minutes at any point of their operational runway, provided that there is optimum visibility and surface condition. and emergency access roads are also within 1000 meters. Fire stations are also located in all the aerodromes, provided that they can reach the runway at any time whenever they are called immediately. And coming to the next part, which is the communication and the alerting system. So radio altimeter operating area. So this is the area shall be established in a pre-threshold area of a precision approach category 2 or 3 runway. Got it? Finally, coming to the declared distances. So there are some important terms here which has to be kept in mind. TORA, TODA, ASDA, LDA, clearway and stopway. Assume that this is a runway. Sorry if my drawings are not very nice, but you have to deal with it. So this is a runway. This distance is the LDA. This is the normal landing distance. TORA, which we call as TORA. This is also a part of a runway only. So this is the normal amount of length required for the takeoff, normal takeoff. And this is a stopway, extra part of a runway. The width is same as that of the runway and it is extended a little bit more. So in case if there is there is a requirement to stop the takeoff, and then in the stopway region the aircraft can stop, but it is not used for the normal in the normal takeoff conditions. Okay, and clear TODA is TODA, which is the one which includes clearway. So what is a clearway? Clearway is an area beyond the runway which can be above a land or a water. They are again under the jurisdiction of the airport authority only, so that proper care is taken in that area, that no such obstacles or any such work is done which might cause or which might jeopardize the safety of the aircraft movement from that area. Okay, so these are also having certain full forms which I'll be telling you. TORA is a takeoff run available. TODA is the takeoff distance available. ASDA is the accelerated stop distance available. LDA is the landing distance available. So this was the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.